Imagine this. You turn on your computer. You are all psyched out to write down something. You have all these great ideas. And then the cursor starts blinking on that blank screen. And all your ideas go poof. And you sit there for 20 minutes going, what am I going to write about? Well, this happens to every writer. And you have to explain that to your students too. This happens to every writer. But I've got a solution for you. And that solution starts with a writer's journal. Hey there, it's future me wearing the same shirt for some continuity with this video, but I kind of forgot half of my introduction when I originally filmed everything. I forgot to say, hey there. I forgot to tell you, I'm Kathy Harsh from Teach to Write for Middle School. I help middle school English language arts teachers like you who want to teach their writing students the strategies and techniques for improving writing skills without you losing your sanity. Welcome. I'm so happy you're here. If you're returning, wow, thanks so much. And if you're new, thanks for checking out the Teach to Write YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because I release videos every Monday. And sometimes I drop bonus videos like this one. In this video, I'm going to discuss why a writer's journal is an essential tool to your ELA classroom, especially if you use a writing workshop in your classroom, and how students can use good old-fashioned paper and pencil journals in a modern, tech-driven classroom. I'm also going to talk about grading and storing writing journals without costing you extra time or money. And in future videos, I'm going to demonstrate ways you can use writing journals to help your middle school writers break through writer's block. Let's get started. I'm very passionate about writing journals, but I want to explain why I believe they're essential to all writers, but especially to your middle school writers. I got a little story to tell you. So a couple of years ago, I started teaching a creative writing class. Now before this, I had used interactive notebooks in my English language arts classroom. At that point in time, I did not have computers for every single student every single day, and I didn't have my room set up like a lab like I have it now. We were in groups, like groups of 4, and it was very easy for students to be able to share materials on the desk. So I could put a tape dispenser on the table. They could tape things inside their notebooks. I tried to do that same thing in my creative writing classroom, and it didn't work out very well because the way my students were all spaced out, and it just didn't work. So I decided to forego writing journals. Big mistake. What I ended up doing later on in the quarter, whenever we needed to brainstorm about something, is I put out clipboards and paper for students to brainstorm on before they went to their computers, because I knew that trying to write things without being able to jot some ideas down or be able to discuss some of those ideas during our mini lesson, the students would get lost. They'd have that cursor blinking back at them when they were trying to write. What I decided to do the following year is I made sure that I told students they had to have a writer's journal. You may be wondering what I use for writer's journals in my classroom. My students can use a variety of composition books, spiral notebooks, 3-ring binders. I really don't mind as long as they're using it every day, only for my class, and they use 1 page at a time. And it's organized. So in other words, they go to the next clean page the following day and they write their bell ringer and then whatever else they're going to write for that day in their journal. Some days when the computers go down or Wi-Fi goes wacky, I have them write in their journals. I like them to be comfortable with the tool that they're using, so I let them choose. However, composition books were a thing that I used forever, and they are cheap. They're only 50 cents each. There was a time where I used to use the money that I got from the school system for that. I would actually reimburse myself because I would buy them ahead of time before school even started in June when they were on really big sales on them. And so I'd buy like 200 of them and store them in my closet in my classroom, and then the kids I would give them to the kids because a lot of them they had no way of getting them. Next, let's talk about storage. So you have all these students, maybe 120, 150, 160. I had 162 last year. I had a lot of journals. And so there was no place I could really keep them in the classroom. I would have had to have double crates for some classes. They kept them in their backpacks. I made them bring them back and forth. Now, I did have one crate for students who just thought they would lose it, or something would happen to their journal, or because they would forget to bring it back to class. I had them put it in the crate so they always had it. There was only like 1 or 2 students per class, so it wasn't a big deal. I made that deal with them that they could keep it in the crate as long as they always had their journal every day, and that they went to go get it before the bell ringer, that it was their responsibility to get their journal and go back to their seat with it. Let's still talk about storage though, because you might not have that situation. The best place to put them, if they're not going to keep them in their backpacks, is in crates on an open shelf. Now, what I do is I have students, like 1 student per table, go and get the journals for their table. That's one way that you can kind of not have this like juggernaut of kids going over to get their journals. Another thing that you could do is in different areas of the room have, crates of journals, and the kids put their journal in that crate and they know to go over to that crate to get their journal. Or another thing you could use is copier boxes. Those are always free and they're always in the teacher's lounge, so go look for them. They're a great place to also store writers' journals. Another thing I do with crates, when I used to keep them in crates, is I would color code them so that each class had a different color. Let's talk about grading. How do you grade the writers' journals? Well, I'll tell you what you don't do. Please don't ever do this. Ever again. Never. Do not bring home papers to grade or journals to grade. Oh my gosh, I did that for years, hauling journals back and forth that I had full intention of grading and never did. And I would do that weekend after weekend after weekend. But what would happen is I would be like, no, I don't feel like doing that right now. No, I don't, I'd see them in the corner over there. They'd be like going, hey, or I'd trip over them because they're in my, way in the doorway or next to the door. Sometimes it never got past the doorway. It would be right next to where I leave to go to work. Do not do that. When you grade anything, it should be during workshop time. Due to huge classes, I conference with my students about every other week. I use a rubric that lists my expectations for that journal assignment. I review the rubric with writers before I grade journals so they know what to expect. And journal assignments are a culmination of a variety of class activities. These can include bell ringers, mini lesson activities and notes, writing workshop notes, and an end of class review. It holds them accountable for these things, but I don't have to grade each of them separately. I have about 5 to 6 of these journal assignment grades per quarter. We are on a quarter marking system, so that's why it's 5 to 6 per quarter. Journal assignments are worth 30 points each, so it's a good chunk of their grade because we do spend a lot of time in our journals for different things, but they do spend the bulk of their time in class working on writing assignments that are more project-based. Students earn the full 30 points if they meet the rubric expectations. I'm looking for consistent practice of the strategies and techniques I've taught and brief notes. I'm also looking for organization, such as date, title, and that each activity is on its own page. Now, that doesn't mean I just award a 0 if they don't have these things. I just knock off some points for that. It's in the rubric that I use. So let's review. Grade journals during conferences, in class if you use a writing workshop approach. If not, still grade journals if you plan on using journals. Grade journals during class. In class, meet with your writers, meet with your students, and talk about their writing. use rubrics with specific expectations. It makes it a lot easier to make those decisions as far as, is this an A or is this a B, and so forth. Look for consistency, organization, and growth. So those are the things that I do to grade journals. Hey, it's future me back again because I have something special for you. So listen close. You ready? You want to set up a writing workshop in your ELA middle school class? I have a free 5-day challenge to help you build the systems that will save you tons of time and frustration next school year. That's like in a couple weeks next school year. That's what I mean. Do you want to save time on planning, grading, finding lesson plans that are buried deep in your computer somewhere, like a filing system? Or how about procedures that will get your writers into the groove of your course right away? With the 5-day challenge, I actually challenge you each day to set up a system that will save you time. Along with this free 5-day challenge, you get a free workbook that has links to all the free videos for the challenge. There's also some bonus videos as well in my Google Drive that I'll be sharing with you that also save me a lot of time, like grading snippets. When you sign up for the 5-day challenge, you also receive exclusive bonus content from me about teaching writing, as well as a heads up as to when I'm going to drop another video on YouTube and what I'll be teaching in my classroom. It's like a PLC right in your email inbox. So tons of tricks, techniques, strategies, and ideas for how to help your middle school writers next school year. That's what's happening in your email inbox if you sign up for the 5-day challenge. So you don't want to miss this. Like I said, it's free. So to sign up, you go to teach2write.com/5-day challenge or go to the link down in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. If you really like the content here, consider giving me a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Stay tuned for next Monday because I've got a little plan with me session going on for the first week back to school. Y'all, I go back to school August 3rd. That's my first day of teacher planning. My summer's almost gone. Bye for now and happy writing.